All right, guys, let's move over to one player that is not hurt, but we saw his teammate on the injury graphic. That was Rashad Bateman. Dionate Johnson, we got to hear from Coach John Harbaugh this week on Dionate Johnson, and he said, at this time, I'm going to have to wait. There are some moving parts there that we're going to have to figure out and explore and see where we're at. It's the best I can do in fairness to everybody. Jeff Zrebiec, who covers the team for The Athletic, he's covered the Ravens for a while, also tweeted, asked if he expects Johnson to continue to be on the team. Harbaugh stood by his original comment and said they're going to work it out over the next few days. Matthew, this just doesn't feel like one that's ever going to be a thing at this point, despite the fact they traded for him this season.
It's super weird. There's more to the story, and I don't know what it is, but there's more to the story. I don't even want to speculate because whatever. But there's more to the story here as well. Since he's been traded to the Ravens, this is Dionate Johnson. This is a guy who in Pittsburgh earned a massive target share. This is a guy in Carolina who had a massive target share. And I bring up the massive target share because targets are earned. Like, Dionate Johnson's really good. He's a really good NFL wide receiver. And in the 6 games since he's been a Baltimore Raven, he's got 1 reception for 6 yards. 1 for 6 over 4. That's not per game. That's 1 reception in 4 games. So something's weird. I will tell you this. Not only is he droppable in redraft leagues, I dropped him in a league in which I'm in a 14-team league where you can keep 6 players every year without penalty, and I dropped him in that league because I'm fighting for a playoff spot. I need the roster space. He's not going to be one of my top 6 guys next year. But again, that's a modified keeper league, and I was comfortable dropping Dionate Johnson. I just don't see a scenario where he's fantasy viable the rest of the year, because even if they release him this week, where's he going? Does he fit into the offense? Then now you're into the fantasy playoffs, so you're really going to trust him. You're going to want him to see 1 week there. Dionate Johnson it's such a weird situation, but would certainly drop him.
And from purely a fantasy perspective, Connor, if you drafted Dionate Johnson in the middle rounds of your draft for the first half of the season, you got a steal, right? And upon him getting traded to the Baltimore Ravens, you basically drop the player from a starting wide receiver 2 from your fantasy roster. So that hurts. Then you look at now you look at him on the Ravens, you see Rashad Bateman get hurt. Then you got Tylan Wallace, you got Nelson Aguilar. I would think that most people in most places who watch football would probably think Dionate Johnson is better than Nelson Aguilar, but it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what they're seeing in practice. And like Matthew mentioned, 1 catch in the 6 games that he's been a Raven, man, it's just really weird to see.
Yeah, and if you're rostering him, hoping that he gets released and latches on somewhere better, the Ravens are the team in the NFL for the comp pick formula. So they're probably going to bury him, let him walk, see what contract he gets somewhere else in the offseason, and try to build up a comeback.
The Ravens did something like this too last year, similar. This is obviously before they had Derrick Henry, but they picked up Dalvin Cook, and it was Dalvin Cook on a good team. Let's see what he got left, and they didn't see what he had left. No. They just saw him on the team, on the sidelines in the playoffs. So kind of a similar situation right here with Dionate Johnson, who at this point in his career has a lot more value than what Dalvin Cook had last year when he came to the Ravens.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.